What's up, man? It's your man DSD Informed, and yeah, I'm kind of thrown right now. Over the past couple of days, I've had to deal with a lot of racism, a lot of blatant racism. A lot of scrutiny from both sides, from both. I guess my side as being a black man, and from the other side of any race you decide to choose, or any culture specifics that you decide to choose. From that, I can't even say white people, because some of the people I got into it with are from other countries. So they're not necessarily American white people, but they aren't black. I said it like that. Yesterday, made a comment on a post, and yesterday being, what's this today? Thursday, so it's on a Wednesday, I think maybe the 10th. Wednesday, April the 10th, I made a comment, and for about the next 75 to maybe 90, I'm not exactly sure the number of comments, I spent only about 10 minutes of my time commenting back and forth with an individual. But it goes on, the comments come in as notifications on Facebook, and they're arguing. And I'm talking, this is a crazy argument between a couple of black people and maybe some white people. One dude maybe Hispanic, I guess. I'm not sure of his origins or whatever. But all of this over racism. Just racial slurs being called out from every angle. And honestly, it's sickening. As a man that's pro-black, a lot of people have the misconception that makes me a racist, that I feel black people are superior people, that I'm almost, in a sense, they think I'm a black supremacist. And that's not the case. I'm pro-black. I'm about the advancement and the fair treatment and the fair rights of my black people. If that means we can get on some Rodney King type level, or that we can all get along type thing, if that's the case, then that's fine by me. If we can work in the system that we have now, that's fine by me. If we have to go back to segregation and become separatists, where you have black people living in one part of the country, white people living in one part of the country, and people of any other nationality living in a separate part of the country for each of their own people, that's fine with me. I'm about what's right and what's going to be better for the people. That's about who I am. It's not a race thing. It's not a color thing. It's a revolutionary thing, and it's a freedom thing. That's how I feel about that. But anyways, and get into this thing with a guy. He goes in. He tries to go in on me and everything like that. But a lot of people, they like to go in on you based off of this misconception that they get about you, failing to realize they don't even know who you are. One little thing that you say that doesn't agree with what they say and how they feel, and they're quick to judge you. And it's annoying as crap. And I get pissed off about it, because you have 8 or 9, this Black Revolution thing is in a sense like Christianity, of the fact that it has so many different denominations, but you see so much discrimination, just like you do in Christianity. Because I'm a nationalist, there's a problem with me if I'm, because I'm not a Pan-Africanist. Or, you know what I'm saying? If I'm an integrationalist, I believe in integrating, somewhat like Martin Luther King did. If that's who I am and that's what I choose to be, there's an issue. And it bothers me, because we're so busy trying to focus on what's different about us that not all of us, but we're so busy focusing on what's different that we can't even pay attention to what's the same, what we all strive to do. And some people have a stopping point. For some people, they want to get all the way up here. Excuse my hand, but some people want to get up here. Some people are willing to stop back here. The fact of the matter is, in order for us to get up here, we first have to come through here. So if you're willing to stop here, why can't I help you get to that point? Rather than fussing and arguing with you and trying to call you out of your name, because I feel like what I believe is the right way to go and what you believe is different and is wrong. So yes, they go in, and I'm talking about, this is really like 90 long. Altogether, I have 6 comments, one of which is my initial comment, 5 that came after. And luckily, my mentor stepped in, and I'm still young at mind. I'm still young at heart. I still have that strong rebel soul, and I haven't learned yet. Certain things I'm aware of, but I still haven't learned them. I haven't taken them and put them into who I am. So I still, I'm ready for those battles. When those battles come up and people are ready to hoop and holler and yell and they're ready to jump bad, I'm ready to jump into those, because I have that fighter warrior spirit in me. But my mentor jumped in. He told me to back out. He told me to calm down, and I did so. And he gave me reason as to why. And when I went, and I kept getting these messages, and I came back to it, and I was looking at what was being said, that wasn't an argument that I was willing to have, because that argument to me became ignorant. It started off as something that could have been flipped to positive, could have been made positive. There was a possibility that we could have taken that whole ordeal and made it something okay, but it was flipped and it was turned to something completely negative and something that I would not have a piece of. Because I honestly saw myself arguing with both sides. I'd have been arguing with, we'll make it black and white. I'd have been arguing with the white guy about his ignorance. And I do say ignorance because he's one of those people that is convinced that because the Civil Rights Act happened in the 1960s and because of what happened in 1860 with the Emancipation Proclamation and the 13th and 14th Amendment and all that, then all of this stuff is over with. This stuff doesn't happen anymore. He was one of those positions where we should just what they consider get over it. And this other guy, he was an extremist. A lot of people call me a radical, and I accept that I am. I go hard. I will admit. But this guy was an extremist. He was really like, wow. He was an extreme. Like, you want to talk some crazy, dude was talking some craziness. And I somewhat understand it. A lot of people don't understand the anger of black folk. They don't understand. When I say black, I mean black as in American black, not saying that discludes anyone around the world, or excludes, excuse me, anyone around the world that's of African descent or has shares our dark skin. But I'm talking, when I say black, I speak specifically of the African American or the Negro or the colored person that lives in the United States of America. And it can go around the world as well, but I understand the anger. If you look at history and you want us to just get over it, we're just supposed to say cool. No. I told people, I told a guy was like, you know, when will y'all get over what happened? I told him I get over it when it stops happening. Sure, they don't, the way that it was in the 60s, they don't bring out the water hoses and things like that and attack us with the dogs the way that they used to. No, things are not how they used to be, but understand that a lot of things are still the same. The same way that our parents, and especially for the older folk that don't watch this, understand that they still attack us. We're still brutalized. We're still shot and killed for no reason. And the fact that a lot of people have closing their eyes and thinking that it's all over is the reason why it goes on and nobody does anything about it. When Rodney King got beat up in the early 1990s, it went into a riot. A whole city went into riot because of what happened. We need to bring that back. I'm not saying going in a riot, I'm not condoning violence, but it needs to be understood that we would not stand for it anymore. And that's a problem. A lot of people want to think that, oh, it's going to be okay, so it's going to be fine. That's not the case. Black people, white people, anybody that lives in this country, anybody that lives around the world needs to open their eyes and understand that that is not the case. Choosing to ignore something does not make it go away all the time. Some things you can ignore and after a while it'll go away. This is not one of them. Because a lot of things that we can choose to ignore that will go away are things that are of natural type things. The rain will stop one day. But you ignoring somebody beating you in your face is not going to change the bruises that you get, the bumps, the knots, the scars that you would acquire through this beating. That doesn't change. And them coming back the next week and doing the same thing, you can ignore it all you want, but it does not change the fact that you are still getting punched in your face. Secondly, all of that coming from that one situation the other day. Now, to fast forward to a few minutes ago, and I had to sit here and I had to pray about it. I was like, God, I know certain things I'm supposed to go through, but man, do you have to hit me so hard, so quick. It doesn't have to happen so fast. This week alone, I've experienced so much. I had to explain to my professor who wanted to understand how we can support and celebrate militancy that was seen through the hatred of the Black Panther Party and the Nation of Islam through Malcolm X. At that time, he wanted to understand how we can celebrate something of that nature. And I asked him, how can you freely wave the flag of the United States of America with all the hatred that has been exposed and brought about under that flag? You get silence when you ask that question. When you ask people to really look inside of themselves and think about what it is that they support. Because if you support America in any shape, form, and fashion, this even goes for myself. If I support America and the flag that they wave, I have to understand that I support wholeheartedly. You can't pick and choose a stripe and say, oh, I support this red stripe and this white stripe. No, you support it all. Because when you support that flag, you support the innocent people that are killed under that flag. You support the injustices that have gone on to our people as black people and to people around this nation and people around this world under that flag. For a lot of people, they see the Confederate flag as something, because the South, the Klan flies that flag because they felt, the Confederacy. But the thing is, understand that after the reunion of the South into the Union and become, back into the United States, all that stuff that happened was under that United States flag. Mind you, a couple of states were missing at the time because we, but not too long ago, we just got like Hawaii and Alaska. But that doesn't change the fact that just because you fly an American flag and not a Confederate flag, that it makes you any better. But anyway, back to this. I'm sitting there playing Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3. I'm a gamer. I like to get on and play games, whatever. That's who I like that. Okay. So I'm listening to this conversation. I get into this lobby, and the conversation comes up out here. Fuck you, nigger. What you gonna do? Blah 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 blah. These dudes. There's an argument commencing. This argument was already going on when I get into the lobby, and I am listening to it. I'm sitting here and I'm taking it in, listening, and this guy talking the utmost trash about black people, who I'm assuming is another black is a black male because he's responding as such. And he was like, "Yeah, so what, nigga? We own the McDonald's and we make you work them." And it got me thinking, just in this quick amount of time, and within a 45-second intermission between games, how much you go to what would be white owned or owned by anybody else. And this guy was a white guy because he specifically said it. But establishments owned by other races and black communities, they're owned by other people, but they are majorly worked by African Americans. There's nothing wrong with having a job, but understand one thing and understand one thing only. That these people on a yearly basis make billions of dollars. And if not billions, high millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. Working for them, you make less than $20,000. You do the math. You work for me. I make $100 million this year. I make $100 million solid after taxes. You worked for me. Now, without you, there's no possible way I would have made that $100 million. But you working for me at the wage that I'm willing to pay you only made about $17,000. We'll say $17,000. In fact, since I have my calculator again, I'm gonna do the math. Minimum wage is what, $7.25? Some people make more than that, but we're gonna go with minimum wage. You multiply that by 40 hours a week. It's $290 a week. And let's assume that you take no time off and you work 40 hours every single week all year. You take that number right there, 290 multiplied by 52, you get $15,080. So if you work 40 hours a week from January 1st to December 31st, you work 40 hours every single week, which is roughly 52 weeks. You would only make $15,080. And mind you, I didn't take out taxes working for minimum wage. But I made $100 million this year. It's crazy. But I want people to understand this video is to point out the fact that racism is still live and it is doing well. It's unfortunate that something so negative is doing so well in this country and around this world, but it's not over. It's not over. Don't think because we've made a few advancements, and I do say a few. We've made a few advancements in this country and throughout this global economy and this global society that we have come so long of a way that we can just ignore everything and say that it's okay. Stop. I've witnessed it. And if anybody wants to see the post, I would gladly post the link so that you can see it for yourself. I don't have a recording of that because I exited the lobby because I was getting heated by listening to the ignorance that was being spewed. Like, I'm listening to it. But if anybody wants to post, feel free to comment, inbox me on here, and I will send it to you personally so you can read it and you can see what I'm talking about. You can't sit here and tell me I should calm down and get over it when there is so much of it still alive and at large on a regular day-to-day basis. Period. And that's it. I'm mad right now. If you ain't figured it out, I'm heated right now. I'm hoping I'm getting ready to go take care of some business that'll get my mind off of it because I got more important things to do. But honestly, it sickens me. It disgusts me that we live in a world and we live in a time where people are so blind and so closed-minded that they choose to ignore the very things that sit up in their faces. Right here in your face, looking you dead in your eyes and telling you I'm racism, and you say, no, you're not. You don't exist anymore because it's gone. People say it's 2013 and not the 1960s, so things have changed. No, the hell they haven't. They just look different. Slavery by any other name is still slavery. A rose by any other name is still a rose, and that bitch got thorns. Anyway, I'm done, man. I'm gonna go do something. I'm gonna go meditate. That's what I need to do. I need to go breathe. I'm gonna go sit outside for a minute and take in something, because this is getting to me, man. I'm DSD informed. Y'all have a great week. Through all of this, y'all have a great week. Have a blessed weekend. Have a great life. Be strong and live on, but understand something. The fight is not over. I feel like we're just getting started. Don't sleep. Peace.